Ooh, what's up, everybody? My name is OMG WTF LOL FTW BRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2002, booking the invasion angle on the road to WrestleMania, and we are booking Nitro tonight. It's been a long wait. I apologize as always. I'm going to try to get these out a little bit quickly, or whatever you want to use. I've been a little bit busy. Just started a new job. Been doing a lot of morning shifts because I'm still on my training right now, so it's kind of set off my schedule. Plus, with the WWE versus TEW and Extreme Rules coming up, I've been focusing on that. In fact, I've been trying to record the Extreme Rules episode, but twice now I've tried to record it, and I've messed up on something booking-wise, and I had to restart it. So once that happens, I just kind of don't want to record it. So I went ahead and finished Nitro, so we got Nitro here, and you guys no longer have to wait for that, so I'm sure that'll make a lot of you happy. Let's just go ahead, stop wasting time, and run this show. We do got one pre-show match here tonight, keeping with the theme of trying out some not pre-show guys, but trying out some developmental guys, seeing how well they do and if they're ready to be called up. This time, we haven't used Chuck Palumbo in a while, so I figured why not give him a shot. 47 solid D rating here. And a terrible pre-show match. Chuck Palumbo goes over Ron Waterman, who is like our oldest developmental guy, so it's now or never pretty much for him. And 5 minutes, 43 seconds after a super kick. Keebler did some good work ringside, and unfortunately for Ron, this is probably not the best showcase of his abilities, because him and Chuck Palumbo just don't click, and it showed in their performance, so that's a shame. Ron Waterman did have an in-ring performance of a 16, though, so that's nothing to brag about at all. And Chuck Palumbo with a 59. No worker improvements, though. We then open up the show with a 99 A-star rating here as Nitro starts with the color commentary team putting over tonight's main event, as we will see Ric Flair taking on Diamond Dallas Page. That is when they are interrupted by the sound of glass shattering as the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the former Intercontinental Champion, Rhino, of course, lost his championship to Kane on Monday Night Raw. Part of the reason why he's here tonight, but we'll get to that in just a moment. They waste no time making their way down to the ring, and as soon as they get in the ring, Stone Cold rips the mic away from the announcer. I don't know who the announcer would be. Somebody, Tony Chimmel. I don't know. Who cares? He rips the mic away from him, and he takes the mic, and he goes, "Is this damn thing on? Goldberg, we know you're here. We know you ain't one to back down from a fight, so here's how we're gonna do this. You screwed over Rhino this week on Raw, costing him the Intercontinental Championship in the process. And now Rhino and I are gonna open up a can of whoop ass on you, so get your ass down here, you copycat." It's been a long time since I did that Stone Cold, so forgot how hard it can be. A few seconds pass by before Rhino just gets, impatient, and he's pissed off, and he rips the mic away from Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he goes, "Goldberg, you can either come down here and take this ass beating like a champ, or we can come back there and find you ourselves. And if anyone in the back wants to get in our way, then we'll just put you down too." And then that's when a few more seconds pass as the mentor and protege duo pace back and forth in the middle of the ring. And instead of Goldberg coming out, Sting's music hits, and out comes the WCW World Champion. And he comes out with the mic, and he starts off by saying, "Hey, look here, you two goons. Goldberg isn't here tonight. And quite frankly, I'm not about to let you two run rampant on my show." And Austin, taking a little bit aback, he's like, What the hell do you mean Goldberg isn't here? This is his show, isn't it?" And that's when Sting responds to Stone Cold by explaining why Goldberg's not here, and he tells him straight up, "I don't know where Goldberg is, and quite frankly, I don't care. Goldberg shows up when he damn well pleases, and there isn't any changing that. But the fact of the matter is, you two are here, and you're looking for a fight. And I get the feeling you're not leaving until you find one." And that's when Rhino once again takes the mic from Stone Cold, and he says, "You're damn right. Someone's gonna pay for what Goldberg's done to me. And it's gonna be me. This is my show, and if anyone is gonna step up, it'll be me." And once again, Austin taken a little back by Sting, and he goes on to say, "You're gonna take the ass beating, huh? Well, that's fine by us.
It'll be 2-on-1 handicap then, or you gonna find yourself a tag partner just to turn on you.
Oh, I'm gonna find myself a partner, but it won't be anyone you two will expect. But until then, why don't you guys just try to stay formal until our tag match? Or I can promise you, it won't be just me, but the entire WCW locker room that you'll have to look out for. And that just pretty much confirms, I guess, tonight's new main event, as it'll be tag team action with Stone Cold and Rhino battling the WCW World Champion and a mystery partner. This got the show. This angle got the show up to a strong start. Crowd was hot. Austin looked good. Gained heat for the feud with him and Goldberg. Sting is improving in acting. All good stuff. So we go on to hype the fact that we will see Austin and Rhino take on Sting in a mystery partner, 76 B-, along with the other main event, DDP versus Ric Flair, 72 B-. We then jump to an 83 B+ rating as we're back from our commercial break. The WWF Tag Team Champions Scott and Rick Steiner stand in the ring while Scott takes the mic and he says,
"So since my brother and I put those damn Dudleys out of action again, we're left without an opponent at WrestleMania. And quite frankly, that doesn't fly with us. We have been the most dominant tag team on TV since we've come back to support the WCW in this war. And we believe that hard work should be rewarded, and we're not about to miss out on the biggest paycheck of the year. So here's how we see it. It's been far too long since Rick and I have held the WCW tag belts, and I think it's about time that we get back what belongs to us. So tonight, we've got RVD and Sabu, and those two dimwits share a lot with those damn Dudleys. So we're gonna put an extra beat down on you two tonight."
And then that's when RVD's music goes off, and out comes the challengers, RVD and Sabu. This is for the #1 contendership. One of these two teams will join Kanyon and Hugh Morris and the Hardy Boys in the tag team ladder match, along with another tag team for the WCW tag titles. So Steiner was good. Sabu looked dreadful. The feud with the Steiners and Dudleys gained heat. If that doesn't kind of give away what's about to happen. But anyway, we jump into the #1 contendership matchup here. 79 solid B rating. And about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Rob Van Dam and Sabu, believe it or not, Team ECW goes over the WWF Tag Team Champions, the Steiner Brothers, in 13 minutes 24 seconds after RVD pins Rick Steiner with the 5-star frog splash. Probably the frog splash leg drop combo, as I would like to see. Following interference from Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon Dudley. So the Dudley Boys return. That was kind of the whole point of that little pre-match promo, to kind of remind everybody that they took out the Dudleys just for the Dudleys to come back and cost them their opportunity to show that they didn't take them out at all. They're still here. But Bubba Ray and Devon come out. They cost the Steiner Brothers the tag title match, or the #1 contendership, I should say. And RVD and Sabu join the Hardy Boys and Kanyon and Hugh Morris for the ladder match. Rick and Scott have great chemistry, as we already know. Scott Steiner had an in-ring performance of a 100. Good God almighty. Rick Steiner, of all people, with a freaking 90 in-ring performance. That's amazing. Rob Van Dam with an in-ring performance of a 79, and Sabu with a 60. So, no surprise there. Scott Steiner is improving in Rumble as well. And then afterwards, we go into an 81 solid B rating. The match is over, but those damn Dudleys are still looking for their vengeance as they continue to beat down on both the Steiner brothers, with RVD and Sabu jumping in as well. I mean, of course, they kind of, I guess, share a friendship because they're from ECW, as we like to sell it. So, eventually, at one point, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley push both RVD and Sabu, and they scream at them to get the tables. A nice little spot, where the Dudley, Devon doesn't have to take the brunt of it, but RVD and Sabu do, and they go ahead and get those tables. They set them up in the middle of the ring. Once the tables are set up, Scott Steiner is tossed out of the ring, while Rick Steiner is set up on one of the tables, as the Dudley boys hold him there and beat him down pretty much, while RVD and Sabu set up for their finisher, hitting the 5-star frog splash leg drop combo onto Rick Steiner through the table. That's when Scott Steiner gains his conscience, runs back into the ring right at the Dudley boys, but he rushes into them, and the Dudleys catch him off guard, lift him up, and hit the 3D through the table, putting both the Steiner brothers through the table pretty much, and they stand tall over both the brothers, posing with the WWF tag titles, sending a message pretty much saying, "We're not done, and we'll see you at WrestleMania, boys." So announcing in color helped us out. Angle got the crowd hotter. Sabu apparently underperformed, but it's mostly because of popularity. We don't use him all that much, and I blame it because he's a freelancer, and it's why push him so someone else can gain off his popularity, I feel. But, still. RVD and Sabu was a team, so we got to do it. 94 solid A rating. Hell yes! Backstage, we see the WCW Tag Team Champions, Canyon and Hugh Morris. They were watching the match the entire time, and that's when Hugh turns to Canyon and he goes, "So that's the Hardy Boys, and now Team ECW. Just one more team left." And then Canyon goes on to respond by saying, "Yeah, and I wonder who it'll be." And that's when we have Chris Jericho and Christian enter the shot as they overhear the conversation, and they jump in, and Jericho goes, "Well, look no further, because the final team will be your daily dose of vitamin C." Yeah, and not only are we the final team in the match, we're also the team who's winning the match, because you two dweebs are looking at the next and final WCW Tag Team Champions. You're exactly right, Christian, and what a bittersweet ending for WCW's tag titles than for two WWF boys to be their final holders. And then that's when Hugh steps up and he goes, "Yeah? Well, that's never going to happen." Jericho then kind of gets in Hugh's face, staring him down, and go, "And who's going to stop us, huh? Those Hardys? Or the team of extremely crappy men? Or is it going to be you, Lardo?" And Hugh's like, "Yeah, well, maybe it will be me." And Jericho goes on to say, "Well, then how about tonight you step up, Junior, and face the champ?" And I could have gone on and put it in here, but I didn't feel the need to. I'd imagine Jericho and Christian walk away, and Hugh just shouts from afar, "You're not the champ, you're the chump." And then Canyon just kind of looks at him approving, like, "That's my man," pretty much. This isn't an official announcement. Don't get excited. Jericho and Christian aren't officially in the tag match. They're just kind of bragging, saying, "Well, we're going to be the next team." So that's not like an official announcement at all. Nonetheless, Jericho came out of this looking excellent. It gained heat for the WCW Tag Title 4-Way. And Christian learning to show more charisma. Good stuff. As we're going to see Hugh Morris and Jericho battle later on tonight. 66 C+ as Vampiro is walking towards the ringside, or I guess entryway, with Daphne as we're getting ready for our Cruiserweight Championship match between Dean Malenko. Daphne getting better at her gimmick. Also just kind of being used because I'm hoping that I don't get dinged for not having enough women on the show. I've tried lowering the risque and all that to as low as I can. It won't let me bring it to low or anything. The lowest I can bring it to is medium, so I've just kind of got to deal with it, which sucks. Nonetheless, 79, a solid B rating for our Cruiserweight Championship matchup here. And about that had decent wrestling, but not much weighing heat. Dean Malenko goes over Vampiro in 12 minutes, 56 seconds after Vampiro intentionally gets disqualified. So don't get excited. Dean Malenko is not the new Cruiserweight Champion. He only won due to disqualification because Vampiro is getting fed up that Dean just won't stay down. He's trying to put him away. And Dean is, fighting. He's a fighting man, a fighting champ. He's trying to get that title back and, not only defend the honor of the Cruiserweight division, but defend the honor of his two friends that Vampiro's beaten down. Eventually, Vampiro just gets tired of it. Maybe sprays the mist right in front of the referee. Maybe just goes right at him with a kendo stick. I don't know. He just beats him up. He gets disqualified. Maybe kicks him in the nuts. Either way, intentionally gets disqualified. He knew what he was doing. Dean Malenko had an in-ring performance of a 68. Vampiro 1 point better with a 69, and yet these guys get a 79 solid B. That's amazing. No worker improvements, though, as we jump into the angle afterwards. Did we jump into the angle? I guess not. As we jump into the angle afterwards, which gets a 74 B- rating here, as Vampiro continues his beatdown on Dean Malenko after getting disqualified. Daphne's throwing in weapons to the Vampiro, and then Vampiro starting to beat down on Dean Malenko with the kendo stick, just beating him down, like, raining down, not even taking a break with this kendo stick. He eventually looks over and he sees the burlesque bag that's got the thumbtacks filled in it, and he's got a big smile on his face as he goes to grabs the bag. He's about to pour it out, and we hear the music of Eddie Guerrero as Eddie and Chavo come rushing down to the ring, and they go right after Vampiro with their own weapons. So chairs, who knows what they've got, kendo sticks. They've got weapons of their own. They go right after Vampiro, beating him down, eventually forcing the WCW Cruiserweight Champion to flee, while Eddie goes on and checks on his fallen friend, and the Guerreros and Malenko kind of stand tall. As you can see, I did change the name for the Cruiserweight Championship feud. It used to be with Rey Mysterio. I'm not gonna, I'm not saying Rey Mysterio is out of this feud, but with the way I'm booking it, I think it makes more sense to do a multi-man match for the Cruiserweight Championship instead of just a Rey Mysterio one-on-one match as we just shove him in there last minute. So that's kind of where we're going with that, but you'll see. We'll make the official announcement probably next week or something. 84 B+ rating, Mean Gene Okerlund backstage with Ric Flair and Chris Benoit. He takes the mic as always and he says, "All right, fans, Mean Gene here, and joining me now is the man who will face Diamond Dallas Page later tonight, Ric Flair." And that's when Ric Flair interrupts him and he goes, "Woo! I'm sorry, Mean Gene, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I've got to correct you, because I won't be facing DDP, I'll be embarrassing Dallas Page. Because you see, Mean Gene, I may be an old man, but you best believe that the Nature Boy, when he tells you the old Space Mountain is still running just fine. But as for DDP, he sounds like the Tin Man when he walks with those creaky old bones. Tonight, Dallas Page, the Nature Boy's gonna put you out to pasture." And then that's when Mean Gene kind of interrupts Flair and he goes, "Well, what about Kurt Angle?" And then Flair looks at him. Mind you, if you guys remember from last week, Ric Flair beat Benoit, beat DDP and Kurt Angle with Chris Benoit in that tag title match, giving Ric Flair Kurt Angle's Olympic gold medals because they made the deal that if Angle would win, he would fight Flair at Mania, and if Flair would win, he gets the Olympic gold medals. So he's got the Olympic gold medals and he's wearing them proudly, and he says, "Kurt Angle, what about that Olympic gold medal flunky? I've got his gold medal. I've got his pride. What else is there to take from the man? As far as I'm concerned, I own Kurt Angle's name, baby. Let's go, Chris. Woo!" And he walks away as Mean Gene sends it back to the commentary team. And Flair's confident. He's got not a worry in the world. Ric Flair looked good. Benoit looked good. The DDP Benoit storyline did lose a little bit of heat, but that is okay. No worker improvements, though. As we see Hugh Morris and Chris Jericho, kind of like the side-by-side camera of both Hugh Morris and Canyon, and Chris Jericho and Christian making their way towards the entryway for the upcoming match. We then jump into the matchup, which gets a 79 solid B rating here in a good match. Chris Jericho goes over Hugh Morris in 10 minutes, 15 seconds by using underhanded tactics. So I'd imagine Christian most likely got involved somehow, maybe going after Hugh Morris, or Jericho just grabs the tights when he rolls him up or puts his feet on the ropes. Just a way to cheat to win, you know. Not making Hugh Morris look weak, but also keeping Jericho in the winning ways. Not that I'm like invested in Hugh Morris, just for storyline reasons, you know. I don't want to make the champions look weak. Hugh Morris had an in-ring performance of a 73. Chris Jericho had an in-ring performance of a 92, advancing the title, or the tag title four-way feud. And there you have it. 75 B- as we see Diamond Dallas Page taping his wrist and warming up for his upcoming match, which is next. And then we jump into the next matchup here. 74 B- rating, and about that had fantastic heat and great wrestling. Ric Flair and DDP end up drawing with each other in 9 minutes 32 seconds after the match descends into chaos, after Benoit and Kurt Angle both get involved. So I'd imagine Kurt come rushing in, goes right after Ric Flair, which allows Benoit to get involved, and DDP just maybe goes after Benoit because he sees him coming, and the referee just has to call it off because, you know, mayhem ensues. 74 B- for the matchup. That's a bit disappointing considering everything else was at least like a solid B. But fantastic heat and great wrestling, so I guess that works. Flair was really off his game. Benoit did some good work ringside. Apparently so did Kurt Angle. I guess I made him Diamond Dallas Page's manager. I don't remember doing that. Ric Flair had an in-ring performance of an 86, and that was off his game, so good lord. DDP with a 79, and unfortunately both the Flair and Angle feud and DDP Benoit feud lost heat, so here's hoping that this next angle helps him out a bit. Yes, it does. 94, solid A rating here as the match is over, but all four men are continuing the brawl until Page and Angle switch it up, and Page catches Ric Flair off guard with a diamond cutter, and Kurt goes right after Chris Benoit and lifts him up to hit him with the Angle slam. He then sees his opportunity and he drags Chris Benoit over to the ropes as he pulls handcuffs out from his tights, and he handcuffs Chris Benoit to the bottom rope. He then turns his attention over to Ric Flair, who then he begins to stomp on Ric Flair's ankle just a couple of times before locking him in the angle lock and just wrenching on that ankle as Ric Flair starts to scream in agony. DDP goes and grabs a mic and he puts it towards Kurt Angle's mouth, and Kurt goes on to say, "All right, here's how it's gonna go, Flair. You're either gonna face me at WrestleMania, or I'm gonna break your damn ankle." And DDP then goes to take the mic himself, and he goes, "Ooh, I think he's serious, Rick. What are you gonna do?" And Page shoves the mic in Flair's mouth, but Flair just shoves
shoves it away. You can just hear Kurt screaming at him, "I'll break your freaking ankle, I swear I'll do it." And Flair, he's screaming in pain, and he finally just screams out and he says, "I'll do it! I'll do it!" And then finally Kurt Angle lets go of the ankle lock, and he and DDP leave the ring. I'd imagine Benoit is screaming the entire time to Rick, "Don't say it, don't do it, don't do it," but he doesn't anyway. Flair and DDP leave the ring. Ric Flair crawls his way over to the mic, and he says into the mic, as we pull up our handy-dandy notepad here. Where the hell was I? He says into the mic, where is it? There it is. "Kurt, at WrestleMania, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you, damn it. Mark my words." And there you have it. It's official. Ric Flair may have got the gold medals, but Kurt Angle got the final say, as he just went out there and he pretty much told Flair, either you're going to be handicapped and I'm going to break your freaking ankle, or you're going to give me what I want, and he got what he wanted. It is official. At WrestleMania, Ric Flair battles Kurt Angle. Bobby Heenan was pretty weak at the announce desk. That's okay. Kurt Angle came across well as the DDP, and it gained the heat back to both feuds. No worker improvements, though. 73 B- as the WCW World Champion Sting is walking towards the entryway when he is stopped by Mean Gene. And Mean Gene goes on to say, "Sting, do you have a moment? I know you're heading out for your tag match, but I can't help to notice that you don't have a partner with you. And, I mean, are you going out there alone?" And Sting goes on to say, "Trust me, Mean Gene, my partner will be there. Mark my words. But you know what, I'll catch you later, okay?" And Sting walks off as a tag match is next. And if you guys don't, if you guys are fans of being surprised and not being, I guess, spoiled or anything, I'd recommend maybe opening up a new tab, or maybe scrolling down to the comments or something where you can't see, because the next angle is going to have a bit of a midway surprise during it, but the picture is going to spoil it right away. So if you guys are down for surprises, that's my recommendation for you. But I am going to click next in 3, 2, 1. Final moment of the night, 99 A-star rating, as Austin and Rhino are in the ring and they wait for the arrival of the Stinger. Out comes Sting, and he comes out and he takes the mic and he goes, "Austin, Rhino, I'm so glad to see you two behaved yourself." That's when Austin asks for the mic, and he takes it and he goes, "Cut the crap, Sting. Where's your partner? Or are you taking this can of whoop ass yourself?" "My partner? You mean to tell me you don't see him?" "Stop playing dumb. Where is he?" "He's right behind you." And then that's when Austin and Rhino turn around and they see Goldberg, who was here the whole entire time, and Sting was just playing them for fools. As they turn around, Goldberg goes right after him, and we got both Austin, Rhino, and Goldberg all brawling in the ring as Sting rushes to the ring and joins in the brawl. So now we got Sting and Goldberg brawling with Austin and Rhino. There is no match pretty much happening right now. It's just an all-out brawl between all four of these men, as Rhino's looking for his vengeance. Austin's, hates Goldberg right now, and Goldberg hates Austin. Their hatred stems back to the Royal Rumble. And of course, Sting, being the leader of WCW right now, he stands with his brethren pretty much. So all these guys are brawling back and forth. Eventually, Austin, is able to, slide out of the ring, and he goes and grabs Sting's title belt. He slides back into the ring, and he clocks Goldberg with it, taking him out for a moment. They then, both Rhino and Austin, turn their attention towards Sting, and they go right after Sting, beating him down for a bit until finally fire erupts from the entryway, and out comes the new Intercontinental Champion. It's Kane! That's gotta be Kane! Kane comes out, and he goes right into the ring. He goes back after both Austin and Rhino, and all three men are now brawling. Goldberg's back up, Sting's up, Kane is there. Kane, Sting, Goldberg brawling with Austin and Rhino. They eventually send Austin and Rhino out of the ring, forcing them to retreat, leaving all three men standing tall. But not for long, because Kane grabs both Sting and Goldberg. He turns them around, grabs them both by the throat, lifts them up, choke slams them both, laying them both flat on their ass as he lifts his arms up, sets off the fire in the ring, and the WWF Intercontinental Champion stands tall, not only sending a message to former Intercontinental Champion Rhino, but also sending a message to Goldberg saying, I didn't need your help, and sending a message to Sting saying, I got my brother's back, and I don't like you, so whatever. Austin getting better at his gimmick. Bobby Heenan and Mike Tenay pretty weak, apparently. Apparently it deserved better announcing. Goldberg was the real star in this segment. Austin came out looking excellent.
Rhino and Kane storyline gained heat, and the Goldberg Austin storyline gained heat. No worker improvements as we end off the show. And what do we get? 88 B+ rating, increasing our popularity in only one region, but I guess that's fine. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, thankfully I should say, no women on the show negativity where we didn't have enough women or whatever, so that's good. That's a relief, because that's always like my main worry when doing these damn shows nowadays. Nonetheless, though, that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I hope it was worth the wait. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, don't forget to share this video with your friends, Facebooks, Twitters, Instagrams, all the social media accounts out there. If you feel it would help the channel, give it a share. In fact, if you feel you've got a buddy who would enjoy my content, why not give them a share as well? Maybe help your boy get some new subscribers up in this bitch. But before we end off this video, we do have a couple of things of note here. Samoa Joe. I think you guys know who Samoa Joe is. Samoa Joe has signed with Historic Wrestling Forever. Place in Scotland, of all places. So, Joe moving up in the world, apparently. Rob Van Dam says, Bubba Ray Dudley doesn't connect with the fans. He is a waste of time. And here I said that these guys are supposed to be friends. Interesting. Paul London claims belt. BCW saw a title change as the BCW Can-Am Television Championship was won by Paul London. Good for him, I guess. Nonetheless, we do have a decision here. Oh, we got a pay raise from Rhino. Give him the full pay raise. Rhino's earned it. Rhino has earned it. An incident involving Scott Steiner. Oh, boy. Scott... Oh, okay. Just a fine. Look at it. He's happy. And so is Diamond Dallas Page. How do I not... That's amazing. Scott Steiner is happy that I find him because he's doing steroids. And he's like, you know what? You care about my health. I like that. And then DDP, who doesn't like Scott Steiner, is happy that I find him because, well, he doesn't like Scott Steiner. So I just please two people. Scott, keep doing stuff so I can please two people all the time. Anyway, let me just end off this video. As always, I've got some buddies down below in the description. You can check them out. I highly recommend checking out ZachManziNVO over on Twitch. Very active, streams for about maybe 2 hours every day. He's streaming games like Overwatch, wrestling games. Oh crap, there was a game he was playing just the other day that I can't remember off the top of my head. But he's doing a whole bunch of stuff. Take my word for it. Check him out. Good stuff over there. And check out my buddy Raging Yoshi here on YouTube. Very active on YouTube lately. He started a new Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts 2.5, I think. He's been doing speed runs of Kingdom Hearts 1.5. Cave Story, Tower Ascension. Raging Yoshi's where it's at right now. I'm going to try to get Sunday Night Heat up as soon as I can so I can start working on Monday Night Raw and we can start moving on with Invasion as quickly as possible. Again, my name has been OMGWTF, LOF to WBRB, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.